online and cell phone security so that they can be more careful about how they use the technology.
Is that like Miss Manners, or is that like a,
No,
what you call it, a how-to-use manual?
It's not so much an etiquette thing, but for example, one of the things that we know is safer online is a secure connection called HTTPS, right? So Gmail always uses HTTPS. There are other banking websites who use that regularly, right? That's a secure connection. But not all of the different kinds of online or web-based email use HTTPS. In fact, Facebook just began offering it in January, so it's a pretty new thing even for that huge social media website. So the guide explains how to disguise browsing histories and how to gain access to banned websites, all of these kinds of things that would be useful to someone who, you know, might be concerned about how the government or some other body is monitoring their online or their cell phone behavior.
Well, hopefully that's not here in America.
Well, I think we should probably all be careful.
Under Patriots Act. By the way, technology is a boon as well as a problem. You know, 911, folks, when it came out back in 1968, it was a fantastic tool. You know, you dial emergency 911 all over the country. Today they field close to 300 million calls a year. But something has changed. Right now, the way it is set up is you dial 911, the number comes up to the 911 operator, and immediately after that it says where it's being billed. So in other words, the address to that number. Mm-hmm. But 25% of the people no longer have landlines.
Me?
They have cell phone. You don't have a landline?
I don't have a landline. My sister doesn't have a landline. My brother doesn't have a landline. I think in our generation it's become pretty common.
Whoa. So now you have a cell phone, mm-hmm. and you could be in New York, and you're calling 911, and they're thinking you're in D.C. So this is a huge problem. They gave an instance of, you know, someone had a Vonage phone. You know, Vonage is like VoIP, mm-hmm. Voice over Internet Protocol is mm-hmm. what they call it. Now, folks, you can take a Vonage phone from America and put it in a socket in South Korea, and it'll work. And it will still show the number that you have in America.
Oh, my.
So there was an emergency call made on 911 from someone who had Vonage, and what do you see? The lady's screaming that my husband's ready to kill me. Can you please come and save me? And they're saying, okay, so you are here 10 miles away from us. She said, oh, no, I'm in South Korea. He said, so what is your address?
No.
I don't know what the address is. Well, in 45 minutes, they resolved the problem. But with the cell phones comes the greatest opportunity in the telecommunication world, because now they got to figure it out. They got to put the GPS, you know, even though individually these cameras have a GPS, mm-hmm. but the GPS is individual system, is not connected to 911.
Right.
So a new program is being tried, even in Washington, D.C. it has been tried, and you hope the new one is going to be just so beautiful. It is going to give you a 911 condition from America to Korea, or from same building to same building, or from same city to same city. It just is amazing what problems we get when we get one step ahead. We have cell phones, everybody's happy. Now we have a 911 problem.
Right, and the thing is that there's two independent systems, right? We have our phones and our GPSs, and then we have this emergency system that has not linked up.
That's right.
And so the phone and the location are not understood by the emergency operator who's answering those calls. What a mess.
But it is a great opportunity, and it needs to be done, particularly in Washington, D.C. It is the most important city in the world, and you know, terrorism and others. If it was all connected, they're saying that you can even tell the trend where the terrorism is coming from, because 911, most people call whenever they see something, mm-hmm. you know, in an emergency. So I feel their good days of 911 are still ahead.
Mm-hmm. Many of us are familiar with turmeric, right? That brightly yellowed colored spice that is used in a lot of Indian cooking. People refer to it as curry because that's what gives curry powder its yellow color. Well, not only is turmeric good for your health, right?
Yes.
We know it has anti-cancer and antioxidant properties, and there's all these medical uses for turmeric. But the curcumin molecule that is found in turmeric also has optical properties that, get this, can be used to detect explosives. I was totally floored by this story from the BBC. There's a researcher at the University of Massachusetts named Abhishek Kumar who has been working on researching these optical properties of curcumin, which is found in turmeric, or in haldi as we call it in Hindi. And there are fluorescent properties in curcumin that can be used to actually detect explosives, particularly cheap explosives. Now, this research is being funded in part by the U.S. Army Research Laboratory and the National Science Foundation. It's so fascinating to think that something that we eat every day, right, could have properties that, you know, could help in really in our safety.
But turmeric is very good if you have a headache or if you have any muscles that are spasming or something. Haldi is very good for that. So I can see the property. I mean, there are plenty of people out there, they're doing research, they come up with such brilliant ways of using things. I mean, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I had to at least guess that this Abhishek Kumar is an Indian American who came up with this idea. So I thought it was kind of nice that he was, you know, remembering his mom's cooking.
Here's an interesting story out of Oakland, California. Did you know the Warriors, the NBA team in Oakland, is partially owned by an Indian?
I didn't know
Yes.
that.
His name is Vivek Ranadive. He used to own Tibco. Tibco is a technology company. So what he did, he had a promotion called Bollywood Night on an NBA game. So at the halftime, they had Bhangra dances and the others. Bollywood music all the way.
I would go to that game in a heartbeat.
They say hundreds of Indians showed up. Indians don't go to basketball game. So this is kind of good promotion for you to go there. The finalist from American Idol, Anup Desai, he was there to sing a couple of songs after the game finished, and people sat there and listened to him.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. See, you can combine sports and Indian entertainment, and I bet there are a lot of non-Indians who enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I would like to believe that this kind of a promotion can be done for Indians, can be done for Chinese, can be done for Philippines, Vietnamese, or whatever out there. I think it's a great thing. It's just like that theater, 4 seats for $35,000 for 125 shows. I think that's what can be done with this. You know, a couple times in a season, they can have a Bollywood.
Bhangra and basketball, I didn't think I would see them together, but why not? That sounds like a lot of fun.
They both jump.